Guys, welcome back to another edition of the Barndo Channel. Today we're at the final step of the phase 2 of the Spartacus build. Here with Jason Smith again. Going to talk about our wood framing, our insulation. This is actually unique. This is a hybrid build, so we haven't had one of those in a while to show you, but we're going to go through the complete thing. So follow us into this part of the house and we'll start it up. So this was a really unique build for us. The homeowner actually had plans pre-done already, so we actually were called in after the slab was poured. Not our favorite thing to do, but we understand that process happens sometimes, but a lot of unique stuff about it. The outside is board and batten. The exterior walls are 8 inches thick, which is really unique for wood framing. Interior walls, 6 inches thick. Yep. So we're gonna talk about that a little bit, how much insulation we used. We actually have an earlier video early in the process of this. You can click on that to look back on that. So Jason, let's talk about this and why we did certain things. Tell me about this build here. So we're walking into the living area on part of the house, right?
This is an extra part of the house. Normally be like a living room suite, but it's gonna be his gymnasium. It's gonna be a living area, another bedroom, and a full-size bathroom, of course, full-size closet. The customer wanted it to be vaulted.
Yeah.
To have that feel. It's gonna be a nice area.
So let's talk about the hybrid side of things. So you can actually see up here, you can see the I-beam truss. And as you realize that you're kind of looking through the roof line, you don't see any purlin. Actually, a conversation we've had is, did we put purlin in this or not? When somebody doesn't know. No, we just used a lot of insulation here. So we have 9.5, 10 inches of insulation throughout, incredibly well insulated. That's what we always do at 1845. We don't ever do anything halfway. We went over the top on that side too. So if you look over here, that actually is a 6x6 post, 6x6 tubing column is our main structure here. Then you have an I-beam carrying the roof line up there. Really, really good stuff. And again, you mentioned before, 2x8 exterior walls. So with that, as you can kind of see, there's lots of insulation. How much insulation did we get here, Jason?
We got anywhere between 7.5 inches of insulation throughout all the perimeter walls. This is gonna be just low humidity and high efficiency.
Yeah, very high efficiency. So this insulation here, that's not actually for keeping you cool. What is that for?
Now we did all 2x6 interior walls on this particular build, which meant they could go to a little thicker insulation, which helps with the sound even more.
That sounds a little bit overboard to me.
It is. It is overboard. It's overkill, but in the same sense, once you have it, it pays off and people just love it.
So that was something really cool I thought about this homeowner when they came to us with these plans, is we looked at it, and actually we got a call after we had sold it, and he said, do you realize all these walls are 8 inches thick on the outside? And I went, oh yeah, we saw that, very unique. So we went zip, as you've seen before on that. You still actually have some exposed zip because they're going back with a man-made stone after the fact, right?
They're gonna do 1.25 inch faux stone across the front of the house. That will be meshed and adhered to the actual zip board in the wood framing. But we zip boarded the entire exterior.
Zipped and taped it, right?
Zipped and taped it.
Yeah. You can't tell here. It's 95 degrees here in Texas. It's significantly colder in here.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Even with no air conditioning on it there too. So another thing I want to hit on here was the header here. I looked at that and I thought, man, that is a really large piece of wood there. Why in the world would you use a header that big?
Well, we kind of oversize what code calls for anyway, but because anytime you're greater than 6 foot wide, you need to step up a size in header.
So is that windows or doors? What all does that include?
Windows, doors. If you go even wider than that, sometimes you have to step into having engineered style headers. This particular build being 2x8, we always box frame all our headers.
Tell me about that. Tell me what box frame means so the customer can see that. So I want you to understand, if you're building a home, not with us, and you have this big window, which is really popular. Everybody loves windows, and they actually have some smaller framing. That's something you need to know that's not accurate. So tell me a little bit about the box framing, why we do it that way, why it's a better way. Is there other ways of doing it?
Yeah, so a typical way that you see a lot of framers, they will take whatever the header material size needs to be, and they take 2 pieces of that and they actually laminate a piece of 1/2 inch OSB in between. Or you can take whatever the wall thickness material is and you can put a cap on the bottom and a cap on the top. That creates the same strength. We always do it like this because it makes our sheetrock or whatever we're covering the wood with, it just makes it finish out better. We oversize everything, of course. Even though most conventional builds, this header is holding up roof structure.
Yeah.
We're never holding up roof structure, but we still build it this way because we just do it better and bigger. And
we're in Texas, man.
We're in Texas. That's right. That's right. That's what I appreciate about Cody and the steel side of things. When I come to work here, I seen he overdid everything.
Yeah. And
that's right down my avenue is overdoing stuff. So
one thing you mentioned before we started this here was the size of these pocket doors. These are massive pocket doors. So tell me about that. Is this a normal one you can just go buy at the store?
No, you actually any double pocket door you buy 2 pocket doors.
Okay.
And marry them together in the center. This particular door, because it was 8 foot tall, our builder on this job, he basically just got all the parts and pieces and had them build this to the size we needed. It actually fits 2 actual 3 foot by 8 foot tall doors.
Yeah.
It just took a little extra work, but the customer wanted it, and we tend to give them what they want. So,
yeah, based on my experience with pocket doors, man, you got one shot to build a framing right, and if you don't, it is a nightmare to have to rebuild them if there's ever an issue. So make sure if you do the pocket doors, they are convenient. They are nice to have. They do save space, but if you don't do them right, man, there's issues down the road. I've seen it 100 times. So we have actually taken a few extra steps in those as we do these. This house is full of pocket doors. So we'll look at those throughout the house there too, but I just wanted to get a little bit of a deep dive into this and how we do this here. This is an awesome room. So let's check out the other part of the house and go from there. So now we're in the other part of the house. The plans call this the great room. As you can tell, it's very, very large. A few things that we talked about before we did the video that I was curious about as we looked through it. We talked about the insulation. We've talked about the ceiling. We've talked about all these other things. Let's look at these trusses up here. So these aren't traditional 2x12, 2x10 that most people use. This is something that I wouldn't say unique, but why in the world did we use these as opposed to going and getting a normal size beam?
Well, you have different spans that you can span different wood materials with, as you do with steel. When you determine how far something can span and the size it needs to be, this is too much. Anytime you're spanning over 20 foot, you got to get away from conventional wood.
Now, 20 feet doesn't mean 20 foot to the center. It means 20 foot overall, right?
No, 20 foot to the center.
Okay, so
one member, if it is spanning more than 20 foot, you really need to get to some kind of engineered.
So another thing I asked you was cost difference. So this is not a normal style framing for we do there too. Again, going above and beyond, trying to make sure it's the best product for the customer. So you said these are quite a bit higher than a traditional.
They are,
right?
They are. They'll cost you, depending on the size versus what the near size actual piece of lumber.
Yeah.
You know, this particular ceiling here probably cost about 30% more to frame up.
Yeah.
And as far as I'm concerned, I'm never really concerned about that because you get a better product.
Yeah, better product. And we mentioned we were already doing 2x8 exterior walls, 2x6 interior walls. We're kind of past the point of overdoing it. So another reason for that, again, a much better product. You can see the insulation, how thick that is throughout. You can't even see the purlin, which is another example of how well that's done.
It's like having an igloo cooler.
It is. So let's walk through the house and we'll look at a few other things and show this wonderful floor plan. So right off the great room we just showed you here, this is a pretty cool little room here. We have a dog wash station.
Dog wash station.
Dog wash station. Also have a place for your what?
Washer, dryers.
Okay.
This particular customer chose to do a water manifold.
Yeah, talk about that. So that's fairly common nowadays there too, but this is a upgrade we have. We do this occasionally, but it's kind of unique. So this is a manifold's the right word, but Jason, tell me when this is all done, what this is going to be used for and why it's important to some people.
It acts as a recirculator, which helps your hot water, especially if you have on-demand hot water, so you have hot water constantly. But this also allows that if you want to go in and change any kind of faucet, change any kind of fixture out, or you're going to be gone on vacation and you want someone to come house sit for you, all they're going to do is wash the dogs and do a little bit of laundry. You can turn off all your water to anywhere. You can shut it on or off. That way, while you're gone, you don't have to worry about a pipe busting and water just going everywhere. These are real nice to have. It's nice that it gets to be on an interior wall like this because our walls are 2x6 in this particular house.
Yeah, good point. Yeah.
So this will be your cold water in. You'll have one line in, one line out, and all the rest of them can feed anything else.
Gotcha.
It's neat because you see all your cold waters coming in. Generally, the cold waters all be tied together and run down or across to where they're going.
Yeah.
It's nice that you can come in and just cut the cold water
Yeah,
off.
so you grab that key and just twist it. That's all it is, huh?
That's all it
Very,
is.
very simple. So let's head on to the primary bedroom, what they call bedroom number 1. Really, really large area here. 2 windows here. But like most folks there too, you see, we talked about the insulation here. Why the insulation in this wall is there for sound if somebody's sleeping, but we don't actually have it insulated here yet for the closet area, but gigantic closet. We can kind of come in here and show this a little bit. Lots of elbow space when it's going to be finished out. Obviously your rods and your shelves aren't done here. That's done in the trim phase, but you see how big this is, along with this gigantic, again, pocket door. One of the favorite things about this house for the customer was pocket doors. They have a ton of that. And then walking into the master bathroom, huge shower, huge shower. You can see in here too how big this is. I have an 8-foot span here, so you're at 8 feet here. You're about 8 foot there too, so a gigantic shower. So 2 valves, you got 2 shower heads. Lots of options here too, but and notice this is also recessed. So when this is cut out, it's going to be probably a 0 entry here. Really cool design. And then you'll have your toilet room there whenever that's done. Well, that's closed off too, but lots of big open space, lots of cool stuff. Double vanity sink. You have a tub as well there. Anyway, just a great layout. Love the way this is designed with a big picture window aiming outside. So really, really coolly done overall. Let's check out the other side of the house, look at the other bedrooms. So bedroom number 2, which we're in now, is a mirror image of bedroom number 3 as far as the size. They're almost identical on that end, 2 really large closets. So we'll walk through here and actually go outside. You can see the other way to the great room. Again, the almost mirror image bedroom number 3 here. Pocket door, big, big closet there. Another bathroom in here that's used for the other 2 bedrooms. Back into the great room. Now, my background is structural steel. That's what I've done for a long time before I had all this gray hair. Long, long time ago. My favorite part is the structural steel. Let's go outside. We did a hybrid here, so we have some board and batten. We have some concealed fastener standing seam panels that my guys did an absolutely awesome job on. Beautiful, beautiful roof. But let's talk about that, why we did this here as opposed to traditional metal. And the eyebrows, we'll cover all that. So let's head outside and check that out. All right, now we're in the breezeway part of this home. Again, called the Spartacus. Really, really cool design. Breezeway cutting off half the house, or probably a quarter of the house. You have a gym over here. You have a bedroom. You have a full bath, a living area, big breezeway, and then the rest of the home there too. So the customer wanted board and batten. That was part of the design, and we had a couple of options on that. The metal versus the LP, which is what this is. Ended up painting this. This is not a traditional design for us. We do board and batten sometimes, but
Well, when the customer wanted board and batten, but they didn't want to do metal board and batten, they wanted to really feel the wood grain as if it was an old cedar board and batten style house that got painted.
yeah. So the process we do on the hybrid build is several more steps than our traditional one. It's a little more expensive doing it this way. It's a good product. There's nothing wrong with it there too, but our customers a lot of times are wanting most efficient, most cost effective. In this case here, it's a little bit of both on that side. So we went with a very efficient, great product here that A, will keep water out, B, is very, very maintenance free. It's not going to rot out. The material is designed to be long lasting. And again, what's really important, it's a great looking product. So if you look throughout here too, you barely see the splices there, how they're done there too. Again, the framer did a great job on this. Very, very proud of what he did. So let's fast forward to my favorite part of the build, the steel structure. So let's walk out here and I'm going to describe how we did this and talk about the roof a little bit. So this is a 6x6 by 3/16 piece of 2, incredibly heavy. We engineered this out to be the right size for this right span. You can see the crow's foot above me, all welded and done the proper way, along with the roof, my favorite part. So we did a reverse ran U panel on the soffit in black, turned out really, really clean. And on the roof, we did what's called a medallion lock. It's a McAvoy metal product. This house itself, I really like a lot. It's a lot of big open spaces. We're out here in the country, here in East Texas. So I love this layout here. It's gonna be great long-term when the customer gets it all finished up, and very happy for the product we have here today.
Oh yeah.
Well guys, that's gonna wrap up another edition of the Barndo Channel. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe to our channel. Click on that bell to make sure you're notified the next time we post, and we'll see you next time.